here, Coach. How's it gone here so far? These first few days in, getting to work with these guys here, and now knowing that the season's about a month away.
It's been going great. Great group of guys in the room, picking up the system. You know, for a lot of the guys, you get to install it a little bit in spring, install it again kind of in the summer, and then for some of them hearing it the third time. Some you're hearing it the first, like a freshman, Bo Burklow, who just kind of came in the summer, caught it there, and now really diving into it deep. But it's been going well. We've been low on MAs. You know, we hadn't had pads on, so we're putting on pads today. But so far, so good.
For someone that's not played in this offense, what do you think the most challenging part is for the tight end to pick up?
You were asked a lot, and I always tell them it's hard to play the position in our offense in a good way. The more you can mentally and physically take on our offense, the more our offense is going to be able to grow. If we got two guys that can really do that, I think Bentley and Austin have both been doing a really good job, being a little bit older, being in the room. You know, we're going to play more with two tight ends. We might play with three. So I think really it's between the ears. Keep taking care of your body, because we're going to do things where we're heavy in the run game. That's something that's going to set up for the pass. So you can be great in the run game, but if you're slow as dirt, it doesn't do us much help. So they're doing a phenomenal job, and it's just between the ears is one of the biggest things that I really try to focus on and make sure they're getting to the right guys.
Heard talking to them that, you know, when they first hear triple option or option, you know, they're a little hesitant. But then does it help when you've had success with guys, you know, like Likely or whoever that have gone out there and kind of made a name for themselves in the passing game too?
Absolutely. I think, you know, what it does is, and even if you look back to last year from where we were at running our offense and hopefully going into this year, I feel the same way. What our run game does and the problems we give to people with different looks or the triple aspect or different personnels, it sets up pass game for the tight end. You know, you don't have to change out of that personnel and everybody knows a pass is coming or then put the tight ends in. It gives them a little bit easier wide open looks, and then it gives them one-on-one looks. But getting them in that situation where we can pair stuff up, it helps the tight end because, yes, you're there to block, but setting up all that pass game, it gives them really good opportunities if they take advantage of it and going back to it, learning our offense and picking all that stuff up.
Other than Bo, your room pretty much is back from the spring, right? So, you know, do you feel like those guys have made a lot of progression from the spring as far as retention of what you guys installed back then?
I do. I think they've picked it up fairly well. I think we had, over the first two practices, we've had two MAs. One of them was by Bo, and it was just a brain fart, which is somewhat understandable being a guy that just got here in the summer. So from that aspect, I actually probably would have thought there'd be a little bit more. So I'm glad on that. Now, technique stuff and all that, we still have a ways to go. That's what we're going through camp. But from understanding it and knowing what we want and what we're expecting, I think we're on the right track. Still a long ways to go, just like anybody else in any other position, but really feel good about it, feel good about those younger guys and the other guys in the room. But Bentley and Austin, they've taken it, they've ran with it, and they've picked it up. They're very sharp. They're very sharp, and it's been pleasant because it is tough to learn our offense, whether you're an older guy or a younger guy, in 1 year. And they've done it in, you know, since we've been here in January, February. So that's been very, very pleasant for me, because now we can, okay, they understand this, we can add this onto it, we can add this onto it, and not having to be so limited in what we do because of their mental capability.
In this offense, is it important to have guys, tight ends, that are versatile, able to, you know, kind of go out and make plays in the pass game, but obviously as a tight end, you've also got to be able to attach to the line and you know, move people with your body too. Is that important? Yes,
very important, and they're not easy to find. Especially, you know, at this level, you got to be able to block a DN that's 6'5", 240, and then you might have to be going against a safety who's 6'1" and runs a 4.5. And that's tough, and it's one play right to the next. The conditioning aspect of it, and at that size, I mean, Austin's got a great frame on him. Bentley's got a great frame on him. They use it well, and then it's really just pushing them. Like I was saying before I came in, today's the first day of pads. So we got our 12 personnel, we got inside drill. So I game at them a little bit before this, testing them, saying that, people talking about you, not great, fire them up a little bit. And because today that emphasis is really more hidden as to where a game plan, or maybe in 5 practices, might be a little bit more about our one-on-one matchups in our pass game. So it's extremely important. It makes our offense grow, and it helps us out because now we can, is it a pass, is it a run, and hide a lot of what we do adding into that triple.
And after having, your first 2 days of practice, getting to go into day 3, putting pads on, is that something that you think the guys kind of get amped up for most of the time?
I do. Everybody, because what you get in summer and what you get in some of those workouts is, a D lineman, sheds you, or like an O lineman blocks somebody, and everybody always goes to the excuse, oh, no pads, no pads, no pads. That pads are on. So now it's really about, okay, helmet's on, we're strapping up. We're not live, we're not full go, but it's clicking it. We got it going on a little bit more, and as we inch forward going through camp, you really got to ramp that thing up. So I think there's going to be some juice flowing out there today.
Coach, we're going to have you joining us online. Go ahead, Ed.
Yes, sir, Coach. In terms of where you are with pads coming on today, do you go back to the basics to an extent in terms of emphasizing the basic things you ask out of a tight end because it changes now that you have pads on?
I think we still install today, but the basic stuff to me that's really going to point out is those basic fundamentals. So an inside drill, our plays won't be as crazy out there. It's more stuff they've been running through the spring, through the summer, so they should know it. So from a coaching standpoint of evaluating that film and wanting to see the growth, I want those base fundamentals to be there. We've been going through it, and it's been more hand placement, footwork. Well, now we're really ramping it up, and you're clicking pads. That's where I want to see those fundamentals carry over. So that's one thing for sure, especially in the run game, making sure that we're carrying that over from the mental standpoint, now bringing it into the physical standpoint.
Do you emphasize the blocking part even more just because it is such a catalyst to everything that the offense does?
Always emphasizing blocking. I mean, we're always going to be that's our bread and butter, and it's going to set us up with a lot of stuff. But today, we're always competing. We always have our words and our what we're emphasizing to the team. But today, poking the bear a little bit more so of, hey, I need to see you guys getting after it, because it's great. They can know as much as they want, but if they're not getting out there and actually competing and, driving the D end or getting to the backer and sealing them off, then, a lot of it is, it's great, but we need to emphasize that a little bit more.
Given the injuries at receiver, do you anticipate the tight ends maybe even being used a little bit more this year in the pass game?
I could see that. But then also, with game plan, we get into a lot of game plan specific stuff to where, 1 week it might be a little bit more, 1 week it might be a little bit less. Those guys are doing well. Coach Washington does a great job with that room and starting to build that depth and getting them where they need to be and developing them. Selfishly, I've been a little bit tunnel vision of trying to make sure Bentley's good, make sure Austin's good, make sure, these young guys are getting it, and probably not seeing as much as I should the whole team and how well everybody is. I mean, I see it, but not to where I will, when we're in the season, let's really get it to this receiver, let's really get it to this running back, that kind of stuff. But, I think they're coming along, and everybody on the offense is really starting to pick it up, and you see day by day different guys making plays.
And Coach, specifically, Chapwell mentioned specifically Bo Burklow the other day. Wasn't asked about him, but just as a new guy that's kind of left an impact, what has he done to leave to kind of open your guys' eyes a little bit?
I think Bo has come out and embraced it and picked it up as quick as he could. He wanted to know the plays as soon as he could. He's taking care of his body. He's come out there. He seems like, now this is before today's practice, he seems like he's got some dog in him, which is big. And, you go out there and you inflict your will on somebody that's going to open up that pass game. And for a younger guy to come out there, to show that he's not really backing down to 22, 23-year-olds. He's ready to go. He wants to learn. That freshman curve doesn't seem like it's as big as most would when they're coming in. And that's been pleasant to me. Seems great in the room, fits in well, works hard. It's been a pleasure so far.